I didn't stop dating because I was done with love. I stopped dating because I wanted more. Let's talk. Dating has been pretty revealing. Got tired of the lessons, you know what I mean? And I say just for a season because at first I was going to make a video about why you should stop dating for a year. But I think you have to do what's best for you. And you have autonomy. So I don't want to say, don't date for a year. No, you'll know when it's time to get back out there. I wouldn't say that I was like out there dating or whatever. I was on dating apps. Raya, I think that was the last one for me. And I was just not having the experience that I wanted. So there was a level of me having to take accountability for tolerating certain things or putting up with stuff that I know for a fact that I had no business being around. And, I moved out here. And it's funny because I moved out here to LA from New York. And I said after one 38-minute date that dating is a distraction. But I just want to read you this gem from my tea bag. Life is best lived by focusing on your goals and dancing through all other distractions. And this is just your friendly reminder that the D in dating is for distractions. Get the money, honey. That's it. And I still believe that because having the right partner matters and you'll feel it, right? The right partner won't distract you from your goals, especially as an ambitious woman. But I kept noticing patterns. I felt like I was dating the same guy in a different font. And, the focus felt really external and I was splitting my energy trying to be the girlfriend and I ended up drained and other things. I felt like I didn't need any more experience. I was like, I'm good. Okay. I've paid my dues. I'm all right. But I was more aware of how I was showing up in those relationships, right? Just falling off routines, not doing the things that I said I was going to do. And then once all of a sudden you look up and you're like, whoa. Like I was talking to a homegirl before I moved out here and she's like, oh my God, what are you going to do about the dating scene? I heard it's like really terrible in LA. And I'm like, girl, if you think I am picking up my entire life to come out here for a man, a man, no, I'm like, y'all are cool. Men are cool, but I don't think, that should be the center of a universe. I always say, okay, this might be a little picante, but I always say if the most interesting thing about you is the man that you have, you lost the plot. You lost the plot. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the women have fought so hard for independence and freedom and rights and stuff to just be like, essentially, I just wanted more for myself. And hopefully others do too. And I've been unpacking this in therapy too. So But what does the season actually look like? What does the season of not dating look like? And I don't want to be super, Captain Obvious, but not dating. Like being practical, but real. Like it's okay. You might meet people, whatever, and you could let them know I'm not looking for anything right now. You have to be real about it, I would say. Um, it's not that you're seeking validation through dating, just kind of stepping back and really assessing what it is that you want out of dating. Maybe asking questions of like, why am I aligning myself with someone who clearly is not the one for me? You know what I mean? Those kind of questions. And we've all been there. And if you act like you have it, mm. The season of not dating also looks like spending a lot of time alone, right? Slowing down so that you can actually think about your next step. So you're not so emotional or so reactive to anything that happens, within dating. I'm guilty of it. I've done the whole like, oh, let me see what his last name sounds like with mine. I'm a girly girl. Like we do those things. But it's really about taking that off. Like stop idolizing it. Stop living in the fantasy world. Live in the reality of like, we're taking time for self and that's it, right? It's not forever, just for a season. It doesn't have to be a drastic situation where you're just removing people out of your life left and right. I think you just have to redirect your energy and reposition some things, right? Figure out what needs your energy and your time. And in this season, it's you. Of course, you're going to learn your patterns, right? They become super obvious to you. Naturally, you explore what you're drawn to, your triggers, how you abandon yourself. That way that you don't do that again. You know what I mean? When the right person comes along, you're already set up to win or set up for success at least. or longevity. And I think your relationship with validation changes and you become a little bit more grounded. Now, I can't speak for, what do they call it? The male centered women, but it's less about feeling like you're being chosen and more so choosing yourself. It's funny because people will say things online. There's a lot of fodder online, so take it with a grain of salt. But just saying like, oh, this person's so obsessed with themselves, and it's like, well, who else are you supposed to be obsessed with? Like in your season of you, who else are you supposed to be obsessed with? Okay, all right. And like I mentioned earlier, your standards become clearer, right? You're not worrying about if you fit into this person's life and you're cookie cutter this and blah, 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 blah. No, you are focused on, does this make sense for me? Does this make sense for where I want to be or where I want to go, the things that I want to do? Alignment. Alignment. I don't know, alignment. This one has always been important to me too, because I think, of course, like we want community, and maybe I could touch on that on a different day. But sometimes we outsource our validation or, our next move. And when you're in the season of you, you actually learn how to feel without influence. I know that's rich of me saying you're online influencing people to buy stuff. But I mean, no outside opinions shaping your next move. There's no pressure to interpret someone else's behavior. You're not getting pissed off at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I'm not saying to be completely selfish, but lean into it. You know what I mean? Lean into it during this season to really figure out the ins and outs of you. Because if you don't know that, then how will somebody else see that? How would somebody else honor that if you don't honor it yourself? Just saying. We're humans. So there's always going to be a lot of tension with the feeling of loneliness, but it's also a little peaceful, right? Sometimes it's okay to be alone. And maybe, maybe you look at it from the aspect of I'm not alone. I have God, you know what I mean? Or I have myself, I have my back and all that stuff. I mean, I guess this is why I always say hobbies come into play. Got to have something going on, have some interests, okay? That's making your own fun. And you can lean into that, which would lead to other adventures and interactions. So I just think as much as it might feel lonely, it's peaceful and it's really the time to get to know you and who you are in this season, you know? I mean, one would hope we're not the same, 10 years later. Oh God, who I was at 26. Oof. She'd be proud of who I am today. She would be. But anyway, so this isn't me saying that, you should stop dating or dating is bad, blah, 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 blah. But it's just about awareness of where you are in your life and what you want out of it in terms of dating and everything else that trickles down into it. Because, we're not striving for perfection. Not at all. We're not striving for perfection, but just a little single time, just a little bit of single time. Just think about the peace. Oh my gosh. Oh man. And I know it's tempting, right? You go for a season and you think you're ready. You put yourself back out there and then you realize that you're jumping into the old dating habits and you're like, girl. So that's why I say take the time. I'm excited to see what happens on the other side of it. I'm cool off of dating. I went into the new year saying I wasn't gonna date for 2026. And then I lied to myself and then I'm back on course. I'm back on course. I think this is the time I would like to. I think God, to be honest with you, I think God just wants me to be alone and focus on what I want to accomplish. I got a lot on my plate right now, and I just don't have the energy, the bandwidth, the wherewithal to give to anyone else right now. And that is okay. So, what would you change for you if you gave yourself space to understand how you move in a relationship without constantly being in one? Let me know. Let me know. All right, guys, this has been A Safe Place to Talk Dangerously. I'm Taylor-Alexis. I'll see you next time. Peace.